Hello everyone. Once again, I welcome you all to the lecture of English. A very good afternoon to one and all. So, we are learning effective presentation skills, and in fact, we have completed learning the presentation on presentation. We have learned presentation, we have seen presentation on presentation, and this actually brings to my mind one more thing, which is I keep telling you to kindly, very minutely observe the presentations that you come across every day. Because it is not just in the lecture of English, but in all the classes, in maybe accountancy or management or any other subject that you study, economics or any other subject that you study, you come across a number of presentations every day. You are shown, you are taught with the help of presentations every day. So I request you all to keep an eye on these presentations because see, we are learning theory in this subject, but the presentation that you come across every day are the practical demonstration of the skills that we are learning, right? So there is no need to maybe do any specific exercise for this. Just keep your eyes open. Just be very minutely observing to all these things, to all the presentations that you. And I'm not saying that all those presentations are good ones or they are the best ones, but the thing is that you can take help of those presentations to study. You can definitely, you know, learn how to make points for your presentation, how to make various important prompts for your presentation, and we have learned all those things already. In the phase of planning and preparing, we have seen this thing that prompts are important. The structure of your presentation is very important for you all who are going to deliver a presentation, not orally. You are just going to prepare slides in examination. So for preparing those slides, what kind of slides you will be preparing, what is going to be your objective first of all, how you are going to begin, how you will be ending, and then how you will be summarizing, and finally the slide for questions. This structure for you all is very important. You can, in your presentation, you can, now I'm talking in terms of preparing a presentation in exam. So while preparing the presentation, you can also draw a kind of diagram or something like this, structure like this, so that you can make yourself maybe more clear, more specifically you can talk about the things that you want to focus on. You can draw something like this, it can create good impression. But most importantly, more than anything else, the most important thing is that you have to be careful about the important things, and which are, you don't have to overwrite in your slides. You don't have to overcrowd your slides. You have to just write the important points. And that's what I also do always in all my presentations. I may not be able to, you can see this diagram, you can draw a chart like this, it creates a good impression. And most importantly, uh, uh, don't try to confuse your audience. Don't believe, which is a belief for most of the students, that if you prepare, instead of 7 to 8, if you prepare 15 to 20 slides, you will look, you will be able to create better impression. See, impression does matter. I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but apart from impression, how you are preparing the slides and how you are saying what you want to in a more specific, in a more enthusiastic way, that is important. So try to learn from these presentations that you come across every day, that you see every day, that you learn from every day. And in that way, start thinking in terms of how to make presentations. Because see, I have already told you that your first assignment is your that lesson, I have three visions for life by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Then your second assignment will also be following your first assignment. So in your second assignment, we are keeping effective presentation skills. So in effective presentation skills, you have to basically prepare your own presentation. Each and every student in the class in CYB.com, you have to prepare your own presentation. The topics will be given to you on that moment. On the day of assignment, I will be giving you the topic. You have to prepare presentation. So start thinking in that way. Start thinking practically how you are going to put your thoughts into action. And in that way, start preparing yourself for the answer that you'll be writing in examination hall. We will also be seeing a few presentations for your better knowledge, for your better accomplishment. But before that, in last class, I promised you that we are going to talk on the nervous system, which actually may be a hindrance in the presentation. The lack of confidence, or maybe the inability to put your thoughts before others properly, specifically, more effectively. This can be one of the very important issues for many of you out there. And it is also an important issue not just of students, of all of us, also the teachers, also the professionals, also the salesmen, also the managers, also the executives. All of them have to present, and all of them do have this nervous breakdown sometimes, the nervous system that may not be very helpful to them. So how should we help ourselves and how to be better and effective public speakers? Uh, in today's time, where so many online lectures and online e-learning classes and workshops are going, I have come across 2 to 3 such classes in which public speaking is taught. If you also have some such class in your mind, if you have some such workshop in your mind, I yesterday or day before yesterday, I came to know, I was told by someone that there is some 2 to 3 hours workshop for public speaking. This was not possible for me, but it may be possible for you all. This is the best time for all of you to take such classes, to take such workshops, because um, what happens is इससे कोई नुकसान तो होगा नहीं. There will be no limit. There will be no benefit of it. You are definitely going to learn something from it. This is going to add to your knowledge. This is going to be helpful to you. And see, whatever we learn, I was told by one of my teachers that whatever small thing we learn in our life, it it helps us at some or other point. It definitely helps us. So take some such classes of workshops so that you can polish your public speech. You should work on it. Why don't you think in this practical way? Because communication skills, this subject basically is introduced to you all for this reason only, that you become a polished speaker, you become a better communicator. So for better communication, you can work on this. Uh, Take some such classes, take some workshops, listen to someone's talk, try to attend some seminar in which public speech is discussed, or maybe people talk about it. Because more and more you know about it, the better accomplished you will be and the better speaker you can be. In the last class and also few days before, I told you how to become a good speaker. Now, let us now talk about how to work on our confidence level. See, the news that you are going to take part in a presentation is enough to set the alarm bells ringing in most people's minds. Many people would think that, oh, you are delivering a presentation. So This is the reason, or there might be hundreds of reasons that we are plagued by these nerves before such public exposure. You know? So, how to cope with nerves? How can you learn to cope with nerves? For this, I have made some a set of some 5 to 6 questions, and I request you all to write those questions down. Uh, and before those questions, after the questions, you have to tick them or you have to cross. Okay. So I hope you all are ready for this small kind of checklist kind of exercise. I am going to speak some questions. You may write those questions, and if you don't want to, you don't write, but at least do the symbol of tick or cross, and then I'll tell you what you have to do after this. The name of this checklist is: Are you a nervous speaker? Are you a nervous speaker? The first question is: Do you ever feel self conscious if you have to stand up and speak to a group, even if you know them quite well? I'm repeating the question. Do you ever feel self conscious if you have to stand up and speak to a group, even if you may know them quite well? You have to either, if you have had such experience, you should tick, and if you don't have any such experience, you should cross before this question. Right? The second question is: Do you experience difficulty in finding the right words to express yourself clearly? I'm repeating. Do you experience difficulty in finding the right words to express yourself clearly? Third, do you get unpleasant symptoms such as palpitations, feeling sick, a dry mouth, sweaty palms, sweaty palms, or breathlessness? I repeat the question. Do you get unpleasant symptoms such as palpitations, feeling sick, a dry mouth, sweaty palms, or breathlessness? Fourth, does your mind ever go completely blank before you stand up to speak? I think this is something that happens with all of us. Many of us have had this experience of going completely blank, mind going completely blank before you stand up to speak. And last question: Do you fear it might and that you will then forget what you were going to say and make a fool of yourself? I mean, while preparing, do you fear it might and you will then forget what you were going to say and make a fool of yourself? मतलब prepare करते वक्त, though you are preparing everything, do you feel that at that point of time, at the time of presentation, you will forget what you were going to say? Do you have had such experiences? If you all have had these experiences, then you can say that you fall into this category of, not exactly, but you have some such symptoms of being a nervous speaker. If you have this feeling of being sick, dry mouth, you have this breathlessness, you go completely blank, and you forget what you are going to say. If you become self-conscious before speaking even to a group that you know very well, or if you have experience of finding difficulty in finding the right words to express yourself. So these are the characteristics of a nervous speaker, right? Now that means, now that we have located the problem. See, in order to solve any problem, firstly you need to locate it. You have to come to terms with it. So once you have come to terms with these problems, we should always be sure that there are ways of overcoming nerves. You know, the first step is to realize that nerves are normal. So don't be alarmed by them. Don't be alarmed by them. It's absolutely fine to have such nerves. It's absolutely fine to be, at short of words. Some degrees of nervous tension before a presentation is actually a good thing. It gets the adrenaline flowing and prepares your mind and body for a superlative performance. It is believed, scientifically it has been proved, that if you are nervous before your exam or maybe before your presentation, your body maybe prepared some such systems in your body that you become even more conscious and you become even better performer. You can do it better. It prepares your mind and body for a superlative performance. Some simple relaxation exercises like deep breathing can help to keep these pre-event nerves in a manageable state. It is possible, you know, to do such exercises such as you can do deep breathing. Some people are okay with maybe doing some exercises for themselves, some hand and leg exercises. Then you can drink water or you can eat something, but you should not eat a lot because that can even be a problematic thing in the delivery of the presentation. But then talking about something else instead of your presentation, talking about some other topic, some other subject can also relax you. That can also, you know, make you easy. Now, why does it happen basically? Why do you become so nervous? Why do you become at the shortage of words? So why does it happen? The answer is that your body cannot distinguish too well between danger situations. Prompted by your mind, it interprets a public presentation as a danger situation which arouses anxiety, if not fear. Why should it do this? Probably because being watched by a large number of people reminds our primitive selves of being potential victims under observation from hungry predators or enemies lying in wait in an ambush. Our body changes prepare us for fight or flight. If you are wounded in a fight, for example, it's better not to have food in your stomach. So it is natural to feel or be sick on the threshold of perceived danger situation. So this is the basic reason why we are nervous, why we are we feel sick before delivering the presentation, because our body cannot distinguish between the actual danger and between this public presentation. You can see that perception plays a large part in keeping these natural physical reactions within manageable proportions. No actor could go on stage every night if he or she perceived the audience to be hostile. There are occasionally hostile audiences, but on the whole, we go to the theatre in a positive frame of mind, wanting to be entertained or enlightened and willing the cast to succeed. Half the battle is to persuade yourself that the audience is on your side, either already or potentially so. Why else would they have come? Okay. So let us imagine that you are an actor and you are going to perform before a large audience. Maybe it's an annual function and you are going to perform before the large audience. Now, as an audience, as a performer, you have to feel confident that your audience is going to be entertained by you and they are there not to make fun of you or not to laugh at you, but to enjoy with you. If any one of you is a good performer, maybe an artist in theater, a dancer or a singer, you can go and talk with him, and you can ask his or her experience on of being on stage, and he or she will definitely tell you that half of they do have this nervousness in their mind, but then half of the battle is won only if he or she persuades himself that the audience is on his side. That means he is the audience is ready to be entertained by him. And if not so, potentially within 2-3 minutes of the performance, he or she will convince the audience to enjoy with him. This means the nervousness can be managed only if you become a good performer in terms of your perception. You have to feel that the audience is not hostile. The audience is not your enemy. The audience is there not to make fun of you, but to enjoy with you. And this I am also sharing from a personal experience, because being teachers or being lecturers, we are also kind of performers only. We have to perform every day before our audience, before our students, because students are not 20 to 25, they are 100 or maybe more than them, more than 100. Sometimes it becomes quite difficult for us to manage the class, you know. So in that situation, firstly what we have to do is to persuade our mind, our own mind, that our students, my students are going to listen to me. They are not hostile. They are not there to waste my or their time. They are there to study. Only if I become clear in my mind and they are going to listen to me, only then I can feel confident. Only then I can have smile on my face. Only then I can be convinced. I can be assured on by my own self. I can be self-assured. You know. So I hope you all are able to understand what I'm saying is that you should be having a perception that prepares you to be a performer, a presenter. Now, when speaking on formal occasions, you can move about if you wish. The first thing before going on stage is to have a perceptive, an attitude, an approach in mind that my audience is going to listen to me. And see, you can have this perception only if you are assured that you are prepared. You are assured that you have all the answers of the questions that may be raised by my audience. Only if you are yourself so well acknowledged and so well established that you have no questions left related to the topic that you are dealing with. Right? So first was perception. Now second, when speaking on formal occasions, you can move about if you wish. You can move about if you wish. What does it mean? You don't have to sit at one place, or you don't have to stand in a particular posture, because doing that might be for some 10-15 minutes, so it is okay. But then later on, it might be painful to you, or maybe it might be a little weird. So it's good to maybe move about. It's not compulsory to move, but the most comfortable anchor stance is to have your feet placed slightly apart and the weight of the body thrown slightly forward onto the balls of the feet, and then to take round at several points. That is there, and that can also be helpful to you in maintaining the eye contact with your audience, because if you go here and there, there will be no corner in the presentation hall left unseen by you. There is then no fidgeting or unnecessary movement also in the audience. Gestures spring spontaneously from the words which are on your lips. All movement is potentially expressive of personality. We should not forget this. Nervous fidgeting can send the wrong signals. You can learn to control it. Constant smoothing of the hair, rhythmic rising on the toes, fiddling with markers, pens or glasses, swaying from side to side, pacing to and fro, fastening or unfastening of a button, the jangling of coins or keys in a pocket, all these are merely controllable nervous habits. These are all controllable nervous habits. Do anything you like with your hands, but don't have them in the same place the whole time. Do anything that you want to. And also be sure that while I'm telling you to manage yourself or your movement, it's not easy. My friends, it's not easy. At once, you may not be able to forget your habit. It might take some time. It might take maybe several presentations. Lastly, remember that a presentation is a theater. I have been saying this right from the beginning of learning of the presentation skills, and I'm repeating this, that presentation is a theater. Act as if you are already in possession of supreme self confidence. You have to act to be confident in the initial stages. Gradually, you will achieve that level of confidence, but initially, you have to show sometimes that you are confident. Be a little larger than life and let your enthusiasm show on your face. We are all geese pretending to be swans. Even swans, you remember, may seem to sail with lordly indifference, but underneath they are paddling like hell to keep going. So now I'm going to share with you some of the things that you can do while delivering the presentations. I'm going to give you some of the tips which you should be you should be keeping in mind while delivering a presentation. But I think we should end today's class on this. We have today discussed on how to manage your nervous self and how to maybe in the initial stages how to act to be confident and then gradually actually become confident. That we have seen. In the next class I'll be giving you some tips how to how to manage yourself and how to achieve that confidence and how to subside your nervous system and how to forget the faults or maybe the loopholes in your personality, how to overcome your weaknesses, and how to be a confident speaker, an effective speaker. Okay, so on that, I think I should be ending today's meeting, today's class, and then we will be meeting in the next lecture. Till then, keep learning, be motivated, and